3D audio is going to be
Sony
game
has
changing the
had
world
a
of
bit of
video games. I'm
generation.
pretty sure Tecmo Bowl has a speed run.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to this week's Most Elite podcast. Today we're going to talk about something gaming related, but not really gaming related. We're going to talk about the FTC stepping in to block the merger between Microsoft and Activision Blizzard. Full disclosure here, I recorded this episode already. It was about 20 minutes. I got through the entire episode and I get into my editing software to begin to edit it, and I realized that my microphone was muted. So it's just 20 minutes of silence, and I felt like such a fool. But here we are again. It's probably going to be better. This episode is going to be better. This is going to be better than the last time I did it. It probably won't have any pictures this time. I had pictures and stuff, but it was silent. So, jeepers creepers. Anyway, let's get into it. As we all know, that Microsoft announced back in January 18th to be precise, that they were going to acquire Activision Blizzard. This is what's known as an M&A, a merger and acquisition. And yeah, I mean, it created a pretty big stir, because Microsoft is going to own, Activision Blizzard. And you can go look up their titles. They have a lot of titles, and Microsoft is going to own them. But the one key game that they own that is really going to prevent this deal from going through is Call of Duty. Activision Blizzard owns Call of Duty. Microsoft wants Call of Duty, but they also want everything else that they have. Sony doesn't like that. That's a no-no. No. Can't have that. Because Sony makes billions of dollars a year off Call of Duty. It's guaranteed money every single year because they release yearly. Sony and Microsoft and Activision are going to make billions of dollars. People are going to buy that game every year without fail. This year's title was no exception. In 10 days, it made about $800 million or $1 billion. In 3 days, I believe it was $800 million. And in 10 days, it had passed $1 billion. So, yeah, it's a pretty big deal every year without fail. So, Sony, this is where it gets conspiracy theory for me, but also not really, because Sony has used this considerable influence to prevent this deal at every level. They went to the European markets and said we shouldn't allow this deal, and some markets over there agreed with them. Some markets didn't care. And to me, just as a casual observer of this whole thing, it looks like Sony is like the real culprit behind this. Now, I know some people who are in the know, you're probably thinking, what about Lena Khan, the new head of the FTC? Haven't they said that they're going to push antitrust? They're going to really enforce these antitrust laws that have gone unenforced, seemingly. If you look back at all at the past few years, these laws have gone unenforced, which is why it was a huge surprise to me when all these rumblings like, oh well, no, we can't let this deal go through. We can't let Microsoft have Activision Blizzard. Now, and I even loathe to say Activision Blizzard. I want to just say we can't let Microsoft have Call of Duty, because that's what this is really about. Sony wants Call of Duty. I promise you, they don't care about anything else. They want Call of Duty. Their entire argument is this will hurt competition. Will it? A company that prides themselves on first-party exclusives is worried about competition? No chance, people. No chance. And I sound like a shock jock. Wake up, everybody. The government is lying to you. In this case, they are. Sony is lying. They don't want to give up the annual revenue that Call of Duty prints money. It prints money. And they don't want to give it up. They can't give it up. Hey, good on them, right? Companies are money hungry. They're greedy. But I need Sony fans to understand that that is the reason. Nothing else. They don't care about the spirit of competition. They don't care about anything except their bottom line. No company does. All companies only exist for the bottom line. Human misery and suffering and fairness be damned. We want that money. We got to get it. And Call of Duty has given them that money for years now. And they cannot give it up. So I believe, just as a watcher, a viewer, somebody who cares a little bit about stocks and stuff, a man who, I'm a little bit of a stock guru myself. Portfolio's down 99%, but we don't talk about that. Yeah, as someone who cares about this sort of thing, it's insane to me that they're doing this. It's insane. And they're not even trying to hide it. They're just doing these veiled, corporate. We care about fairness and competition, and if they own Call of Duty, then it won't be fair to other smaller people. We'll be fine, but the smaller guys, they're lying. They care about them. So what we're going to do today, something we do, well, today's a list episode because you guys know I love them, but it's a different sort of list. This is a list of all the biggest deals of M&As, mergers and acquisitions, this year alone that the FTC seems to have dug their heads in the sand for. Now, keep in mind, all these deals are pending, meaning they could look at them and say, no, that won't go through, no, that won't go through. As it stands now, they have not. But you know what they did say that too? Microsoft's acquiring of Activision Blizzard. They're suing them to prevent it from happening. I haven't heard news of them suing any of these people I'm about to name. So, here you are. Sit back and enjoy these big-ass numbers that I'm about to throw at you because they are big as fuck. And, again, the FTC has said nothing. Here we go. The first one, of course, is Microsoft acquisition of Activision Blizzard, valued at $68.7 billion. It is going to be blocked by the FTC, make no mistake. The second one of this year, valued at a whopping $61 billion, is Broadcom acquiring VMware. And keep in mind that both of these companies make semiconductors, and everybody who uses a computer uses these things, are aware of this company. Broadcom, they want them. They want VMware. And anybody who's on a computer, you've probably seen VMware. Huge deal. 61 bill. I'm doing this faster than my last episode. Instead of giving you everything, I'm just going to give you the name and the price and a general overview of what they do. My last episode, I had a pie chart. I don't live in the past. We're moving forward. Oracle is acquiring Cerner. Anybody who's been to a hospital knows who Oracle is. They provide all of the healthcare systems, basically, to a not small portion of the country. America. That's where I'm located, for people wondering. So they're acquiring Cerner, and so hopefully that the big goal here is to make doctors spend less time doing administrative stuff. Most of that will be automated by these new systems that they're going to create, so they can spend more time with their patients who they love. Wink, wink. That is valued at $28.3 billion. Next, another one that everybody who owns a computer knows about, AMD acquiring Xilinx. February 14th was the filing. It is $28.3 billion, and both of these companies operate in microprocessors. Does AMD need another company? No, they don't. They're already the second largest microprocessor guy out there next to NVIDIA. So, 28 bill for a company they don't really need. If that's not a monopoly, I don't know what is. Moving on. Prologis and Duke Realty. Both of these companies pretty much own all the land. This one I will give you some numbers for you so you can understand how ridiculous that is, that this deal is probably going to go through. It was filed June 13th. Its value is $26 billion. It is a real estate deal. Once this deal closes, this new company of the fusion, Prologis and Duke, will own, it's astonishing, here it is, 153 million square feet of property across 18 U.S. regions, 11 million square feet of development already in progress, which accounts for $1.5 billion in their investments, and 1,228 acres of land already owned and under option. They bought all the land. They've bought all the land. Where the hell is the FTC? You got to stop this deal. They're going to own all the land. They're going to price everybody out. New homeowners, fuck you. Aspiring homeowners, guess what? You got one company to go through. Whatever Prologis and Duke will come to. Duke Logis, Pro Duke, whatever they're going to be named. Moving on. Orange merger with Grupo Masmovil. You've not heard of these two companies because they're based in Spain. $21.3 billion. They are a telecommunications company. The clear reason for this merger is so that they can get into neighboring markets or make inroads into markets like France. They're, by the way, Grupo Masmovil are the leaders in Spain's cellular telephone market. Both of them have pretty much equal share of that market already. So this is literally just two powerhouses coming together and forming a super powerhouse. So this way they can have 5G all across Spain. 21.3 billion, filed in July. DSM's merger with Ferment. Now this is a funny one because this is what it's worth. 21 billion. Filed in May. Hold on a second. I hear a strange sound behind me. All right, I'm back. I apologize. I live on the third floor of an apartment building, and the street is literally right outside. That's why you can hear like trucks and stuff in my background sometimes. So when big vehicles go by, it like shakes the foundation. So like it makes sounds in the back of the apartment, and it always sounds like someone's here. Always, without fail. So I was just checking. I know it's not by now, but my paranoia won't allow me to just let a sound go. Where were we? DSM and Firmenich. It's a $21 billion deal, food and beverage. Now, I say food and beverage, but DSM is a Dutch chemical company, and they do petrochemicals, but they want to move away from that and get into sustainable food and health. So they're teaming up with and purchasing Firmenich, whose slogan is "For Good Naturally," and they want to create DSM Firmenich. They're going to both keep the same name, and yeah, they want to combine DSM's ingredients business with their taste business and create a new proposition for high growth in the food and beverage industry. Sure. 21 bill. Adobe purchasing Figma. Now, Figma does the exact same thing as Adobe. They have a suite of tools you can use for graphic design, basically. They are worth much less than Adobe, and they don't produce nearly as much as what Adobe produces. And yet Adobe believes that they're worth $20 billion. Now, this is a company buying another company they have no reason to buy. If this is not a monopoly, what is? $20 billion, filed in September. Microsoft buying Nuance. Nuance is a AI company, artificial intelligence company. It was founded in 1992. They're one of the pioneers in the field. You may know them mostly because they worked and built the back end for Apple's Siri. So every single time you say, "Hey Siri," you can think Nuance. Microsoft wants to buy them for $19.7 billion. It's a smart option there. They got to get that. They got to get that. Apparently, they've worked together since 2019, so this is like the result of that work together. And hey, who knows? Now, the thing is, will Apple sort of perk its ears up on this one? Because, again, Nuance built Siri for them, basically. They built the back end of Siri. Apple probably did the lion's share of the work, but the bones of Siri did come from Nuance. So we'll see. Moving on, it's Vista Equity Partners. They're buying Citrix. Again, if you ever use a computer, you've seen Citrix. Vista Equity, on the other hand, is literally what it's called. It's an equity. Now, if you don't know what equity is, they're basically a lot of people with a lot of money who buy things. And I know that's like really dumbed down, but for reference, Bungie called several equity companies to try to buy them out years ago before Sony stepped in and made the purchase. So that's what they are. And the final one that I'll name here is TD Bank has purchased First Horizon. It's funny, TD Bank pretty much runs the Northeast while First Horizon runs the Southeast. This deal was $13.4 billion. Oh, that equity in Citrix was $16.5 billion. This deal for TD Bank was $13.4 billion, and it's a banking deal. Keep in mind, when this deal closes, this would have taken TD years to achieve. But once this deal closed, here's what they get. $614 billion, deposits of $469 billion, 10 million customers, and 1,500 branches. And since they own First Horizon, which operated only in the Southeast, they get to scale its market to all the banking products in the Southeast. So anybody who just became a millionaire or a billionaire out there in the Southeast, TD Bank's your bank. They're open 7 days a week. Get in there on Sunday. Get in there on Monday. You got something to do Tuesday? Get in there on Wednesday. You know, come on down to TD Bank. We bought your bank. We own your bank now. Thanks. You're already our customer without even trying to be. Thank you. Again, $13 billion, and the FTC apparently looking the other way. Now I've ranted long enough. My point is, I do believe that Sony has swung its arm, swung its shielded arm, made of whatever it's made of, whatever Sony's equivalent to vibranium is, and decided that they're not giving up Call of Duty. They're going to fight tooth and nail. That coupled with the new head of the FTC, they decided that, that's got to stop. So today, the FTC is going to sue to block the deal. And we'll see how it turns out. I wanted to touch on this because I just think it's ludicrous that all these big deals are always happening and they don't seem to say anything, but Call of Duty is the thing that got everybody moving. Really, really strange stuff. Anyway, if you like this video and you would like to see more like it, please please like and subscribe to my channel if you already haven't. And if you want to leave a comment, you can do so below. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.